Welcome back to
Hello.
another episode of
Hello.
Critical Affection, where we affectionately criticize the pop culture that we love. And there's no special guest today. It's just us.
The
So I'm your host,
OGs.
Sarah, joined by my host, Amanda, my host, Brian, and my host, Fred. My co-host. I fucked that up. It's fine. We're not monetized. I don't care. All right. Today, we are talking about Atomic Blonde, which I know everybody has a lot of thoughts on. You guys got to be kind of nice because this is one of the movies that I kind of took some inspo for Noctiluca from. So you got to be a little nice. Otherwise,
But
you're
it's
a bad
not
host.
a chemistry movie. It starts with atomic, and it's not
Oh,
about
yeah, no.
chemistry.
Well, it's about chemistry in the.
Right, but like,
Like-
where does the title come from? It doesn't relate to the comic it's based on or anything.
Right? The coldest war.
I think it's because she's extremely blonde. I don't know. That's very blonde hair.
So you're saying her hairstyle gives off like sunshine units? Like, okay.
Lumens.
Lots of rads. I don't know.
Maybe the atom is bleach, which is a molecule. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And
I
my
don't know.
best guess is that it's supposed to be tied to the whole Cold War with Russia, where we're going to bomb each other
the nuke
mutually.
stuff. Yeah.
Mutually assured
She
destruction.
was the
Yeah.
blonde that carried the stakes of atomic war type thing.
Sort of,
Yeah,
yeah.
Look
Just
how we're already doing gymnastics to help this movie.
It's well it was released in 2017, but it takes place at the eve of the fall of the Berlin Wall. So that's like
Mhm.
1987. Like, I don't think any of us were old enough to give a shit about what was going on in the news in 1987. Although I do believe we were all alive then. Yeah,
Mhm.
because we're all old now. Yeah.
I was old enough
starting
to
to go to
care.
school.
Okay. In my defense, I didn't start caring about politics until I was in my 30s. So,
There you go.
yeah. But I mean, it was kind of a cool backdrop to have that. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not an amazing movie. Like, we could just go ahead and say that. Like, it has great moments, but it
Certainly.
Yeah. And I just want to say it was 1989. It was almost a
1989.
90. Yep.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, that's close. I know that there's a moment that the director of whatever fucking organization, I don't even know which organization, because there were several of them throughout this movie. Like, the KGB is in it, MI6 is in it, the CIA is in it. There's some other French organization that I don't even know what the French CIA is.
They really make a point of not saying.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's I don't know. There's a lot of them, and oh, hey, Kevin.
Hello,
Carrie
Kevin.
Red Craw.
Hey.
It's a wrestling thing.
Yeah, I got that part.
Yeah, just let it be.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
Nope.
Yeah, the one of the directors makes a point of saying that they'd start a new decade fresh. So, I was like, oh, geez, she's getting at least a year sabbatical then.
Right.
I could go for that.
You just have to have a almost 10-minute, like over 9.5-minute fight scene through a stairwell,
Yeah, which
followed by a car chase.
yeah, spoilers. Yeah, she in that one she gets the shit kicked out of her, but also she beats what is it, 4 other guys, like 4,
Mhm.
and like they do not survive that fight, and I think she only kills one of them with a gun,
Mm-hmm.
which that was part of
Exclusively
my
a gun.
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, the way that a gun is supposed to be used, because to be fair, she did use the gun in a manner in which it is not intended to be used as an instrument of bludgeoning.
I think she shoots
a
more
very
than one
violent
person,
movie.
but not immediately fatal. I could be
Oh, she
confusing
shoots
it
a
with
lot of people, but it's not fatal except in a couple of instances, if I remember right. Which is kind of like the first time I saw this movie way back when, I thought, well, why? It's well over halfway into the movie before she actually even picks up a gun, never mind uses it.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, why wouldn't she? She's a highly trained secret operative for the government. Why wouldn't she be using a gun? But she doesn't. She just beats everybody up. And that was one of my, I was like, why? And then a whole thing in my head sort of spun off. And unfortunately, that is not what happens in this movie because that would have made it a little cooler. But also, like that I mean, that happened. So it's and it made what I mean, I think is a really good story that I'm gonna use because
There
that's
you go.
yeah, I would not have thought of that if had I not like thought, because our dear friend Ben Shapiro called this movie, dear friend, called this movie the woke James Bond, and I'm like, oh, my sweet summer child, he's mad. He's been mad for years at like Hollywood in general, talking about how Hollywood's woke, and I'm like, it's really not.
It's really, really not at
It's
all. In
very
the slightest.
conservative still.
Yes.
And like and he's just butthurt because nobody would option his scripts or
Correct.
hire him to write stuff because Ben, you're not good at it. You're not good at it. You should try something different, man.
Well, he did, and that's how we got what we got.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, he's not doing great in the machine that he helped build is now destroying him. So it's kind of poetic justice, really, if you think about it. But we're not here to talk about Ben Shapiro.
No.
I just thought it was funny that he called this movie, he called it the woke James Bond. And I think it was just because a woman is an MI6 agent who
Right.
beats people up. Like, I mean, when I think of James Bond, I think of like weird gadgets and stuff. And like, she didn't use any of those. Like, the weirdest gadget in there was a watch that happened to contain a microfilm that had the names of a bunch of agents, like secret agents on it, which not that weird.
Not even the James Bond aspect of it, like is the part that's like debatable. It's like the woke aspect of it, because it's not like it's just that she's a woman. It's not like she's a woman embracing like woke ideals. She's still a woman that's very much like like Alfred Hitchcock would have loved to stare at her, right? Like she fits that like male gaze archetype and
Yeah,
whatever. So it's
100%.
like it's not like she's there like championing causes or like reminding you to like, vote a certain way or, of this issue. Like it's just that she's a woman. Like that's it.
Mhm.
Well, and I guess it's
That's
also
it.
that
Which is a girl.
she's an LGBTQ woman too, because this movie, despite all its flaws, has one of the best lesbian sex scenes out there, and you can I will fight you. I will fight you. That is a good scene. I mean, in what we have, it's like realistic in any way, like of an actual same-sex relationship between two women. I am saying that for the screen, we don't really have a lot that's better than that. We do, but like this is one of the better ones. And I cannot remember the name of the other actress. I'm sorry, because she's just Knife Legs to me from Kingsman. She's Knife Legs. She's Gazelle from Kingsman, and she's good in this movie too. She's fine. It's just like it's Sophia something, I think, but like I can't remember her name. I never could. And James McAvoy's in this as well. Somehow he has this like narration chunk in the middle of the movie, which is weird. We need to do we have this like sort of loose formula of how we do the show, and like I never stick to it. So let's do this. And also I'm gonna pull up Noctiluca because I want to brag a little bit.
As you should.
Yeah.
It's just doing really awesome, and that's wild, right?
It's been up for less than a
Absolutely.
week.
You should pull that up, and I'll point out that Noctiluca is actually named, understandably, after Noctiluca. There's no question, like Atomic Blonde.
Yes, that is true. Like the main character's name is Luca, and it's Noctiluca's actually. If you haven't, because like I got asked this before, it's actually that word means it's a type of bioluminescent algae, which I wove into issue. It's loosely issue 4 right now. So like, but her name is Luca, and the name of the ship that she owns is Illinox. So like it works for now as a really cheap way of like that's the name, but also it's gonna play in later, and I don't know how successful I am on it, but like don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. We're still in issue 1. This is just issue 1. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, so that does make more sense, but like, guys, look at it's over 4,000, and there's over 100 backers. And this is tomorrow. Like, we're still not a full week into this, and right here, can I make this bigger? I'm on the wrong one. There we go.
What's the next stretch goal?
This is the first stretch goal. The next stretch goal. So this is for everybody who backed at a physical tier, and the next stretch goal is 4 more pages in the book itself. So, it could be. It's not going to be 4 more pages of the base story, but it's going to be 4 more pages of story for this. So, more content is what it turns into, and I did so much research down in the trenches of Reddit, among other places, to find out that people who back Kickstarters really just want more content. They like the stickers, they like the prints, they like the magnets, they love more content. And I was like, well, there's no reason not to incorporate that in, as long as I don't fuck up the math on how much it's going to cost.
Exactly.
It's entirely possible that happens. So, but at this, like, my screw up is going to be the gain of everybody who buys the book. Assuming we make another, less than $100. No, I'm not doing that math. I'm way
No
too
mathing.
scared.
Just enjoy.
It wasn't.
$913.
Y'all get it, right? Like, it's less than $100.
It's getting there. It's almost there.
No, less than $1,000. I said $100. It's $1,000.
We weren't going to correct you. It's all good.
No,
Problem. I'm tired, you guys.
you're
And
tired.
I'm not good at math even when I'm not tired. Anyway, so what are our opening thoughts about this story? And like, Fred, you're like right underneath my photo or my video feed here, so you go first.
Opening thoughts. Not the biggest fan of this movie. I talk a lot about in horror, especially about the law of diminishing returns, right? Like when something hits and then somebody tries to emulate it, and then they try to emulate it, and then you eventually get this lesser version of it. Well, to me, this is kind of like their spin on like a John Wick, and they're trying to out John Wick themselves, I think. And frankly,
John Wick is after. This is the original.
Is this really? This is pre-John Wick.
This is
I didn't
pre-John
know
Wick.
that.
Yeah.
So then I don't know what they were. I didn't know what.
First John Wick was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
This was 2017.
Yeah, I
Wait.
thought this was post-John Wick. I'm not sure.
Oh,
but
okay. I thought it was
know,
pre.
Yeah, this movie, that's one of the ones that I was saying is this is when the argument of, is this woke James Bond? I was like, no, this is way more John Wicky than it is James Bondy.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was John Wick, and if not, I was going to trace. I was going to in my head try to trace it back to what they were trying to emulate, because it does feel like that to me. It feels like it's they're trying to do all the they're trying to repeat all the trends, the crazy outnumbered fights, the extendedly long. I'll get into that later in the what we hate, because I was especially offended by that one scene in particular. But in general, it just felt like very derivative, very law of diminishing returns. It's a shame, because I like the people in the movie. I like Charlize Theron, I like James McAvoy, but not in this. The hardest leap for me was getting me to care about this story at all. And it's I don't know what journey she was on at all as a character. I don't know what she was trying to learn or whatever. And frankly, telling the whole story retroactively doesn't really help the stakes of the story at all. But I don't know what they were doing. And the entire movie was, you're trying to get me to care about the fate of the world, but you didn't show me one nice part of the world to care about. Everything in this movie is really, really bleak, and they keep going back to like the agents' lives are on the line, and the agent, like, show me an agent that like just got out and went to spend time with his family or something. Like, show me something that's like on the line, because instead you're just trying to remind me that this story is supposed to be important over the little thing in the little MacGuffin, and I just can't seem to care. So it was a hard one for me to like, take this journey, really.
That's fair. Yeah, Amanda, do you wanna go ahead and, because she posted the thing there, like that's a good point. That's a good point to bring up.
Oh, yeah. That just what had stuck. The reason I got it confused is because I had read the bit about the director for Atomic Blonde had been a like uncredited co-director and producer for the first John Wick. So that was probably being pulled forward as like in his skill set. So that seems like part of the influence. Everyone definitely seemed to enjoy the fight scenes and action, making this more of an action than a spy film in a lot of ways. For the actual story, you're just like ricocheted through this complex storyline with these unreliable narrators. And normally when it's spy versus spy, there's a little bit more of a getting you onto one side and to root for one of them to be able to defeat the evil other spy. And that just wasn't here. Instead, they were trying to get this sense of you don't know who the secret underground betrayer is, and Satchel. But then they just like keep chucking more and more in, and they never really revisit or highlight things. So you have to really be tracking all the characters, all the little details, everything. And they just don't give you a lot of toeholds in order to like bring the audience along for the ride. And so I don't think a lot of people would enjoy it for that reason. Yeah,
that's fair. Brian.
My impression was that it was cool looking, but I couldn't follow it. It felt like they'd have a scene and then they'd start doing something else for some reason with no explanation. And this is not the first spy thriller I've seen that does that. I can't think of the other ones because it wasn't worth remembering. But it's frustrating because it's like they expect you to have certain knowledge of history and spycraft to be able to follow. And if you don't, then fuck you, what are you watching my movie for? And I felt kind of disrespected. Like, hey, you need to know stuff, but we left it on the cutting floor. And
that's the James Bondy part. Is that
it wasn't just you, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I had my thoughts on this movie are that it's really fun to watch, but like as long as you don't pay too close attention to it, because it's like the action scenes are like the the badass action scenes, and like they're shot well enough and everything, like, and they're just that we're meant to like 100%. Charlize Theron is a really amazing agent who can do all the martial arts and all the all the physical attack stuff, and she's good with a gun, and she's competent with the technology of the era. But yeah, like what you guys are saying, like this was a complicated movie to follow, and they didn't need it already had all the action and the beautiful people in it. It didn't really need all that other shit. And like the whole taking place on the eve of the Berlin Wall falling didn't matter. Like it kind of mattered, but not really. Nothing that couldn't have been manufactured in literally any other way that like Brian said did not revolve around you already having certain knowledge of historical events. Like, so like I enjoy watching this movie. I think it's fun, but don't get too invested in the story because otherwise it doesn't make sense.
I didn't just find the story hard to follow. I literally, with my eyeballs, found a lot of the action scenes hard to follow too. Like I thought it was kind of visually confusing, and to the point of like its predecessor, right? The reason why John Wick works is because it is so simple. It's like, they got my dog and I'm going to get them back. And like, you know, you don't need to follow anything more than that. Like, it's, you know, as they teach in writing classes, like, make it primal. Like, we all know what it's like when somebody gets your dog. And this movie is just so complicated and stuff. And like Brian says, it expects you to transfer a lot of technical and like emotional stuff to things that you don't completely understand. So it's kind of,
Yeah, they should have taken all the complicated shit that happened and thrown away like half of it, and then they would have had a more fun movie to watch.
Or made a
And
4.5 hour Snyder cut. Explains everything.
a mini series, perhaps.
There we
I
go.
feel like the intrigue and the you know, double, triple, quadruple agent shit, like all of that stuff could have been really fun. But like Brian said, we don't have enough information, and then like Fred said, we were expected to follow all of this, and just sometimes it just didn't make sense. There was a point that Fred, I remember you say that when you were watching it, like, I forgot what this movie's supposed to be about or something like that. I was like,
Yeah.
It is. It's got a lot going on, and one would argue too much. And that's the Spider-Man 3 problem, right? Like, there's just too much in this movie.
Mhm.
That they could have made 2 movies out of it.
Spider-Man 3 doesn't have a problem. I like Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3
A
has
lot of
many
it comes down to how it was written. They could have easily
Mhm.
changed some of the dialogue and reinforced that they were looking for the watch that had the list on it and that everything was leading towards this goal. And instead, they just sort of mention it, and then they use more visuals than words to try and explain what they're doing. And I think it's a problem that you run into when you translate from one visual media to another, where they were trying to keep some what they probably thought were some cool visuals from maybe the comic book or extrapolated from the comic book, and as a result it gets lost to us as the audience watching a movie instead of reading the book.
Yeah. So like, people that read the book might enjoy this movie more or less, because like, I have the same thing with everybody, you know, literally everybody, like almost every single movie that's based on a book sucks in comparison to the book,
Right.
which
Well, apparently it's quite different in several ways. So if you really love the book, you probably won't enjoy the movie.
that's fair.
Might have been able to follow the plot if I had read the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they had way more ability to have internal thinking and explainers
Yes.
that worked better.
Yes. That's a huge problem when you're adapting a book of any kind, like not just a comic, but like any book.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that inner dialogue shit. And that's one of the problems that I have with this one, is like, this movie, Lorraine, Charlize Theron's character, is supposed to be the main character. And then we've got some fucking, it's not even monologuing, it's narration by James McAvoy's character, who's doesn't even matter. I can't, like, he's supposed to matter, but like, I can't even remember his name. Percival, that's his name. His name is Percival. Like, he's like, why was he just suddenly narrating in the second half of the movie for just a minute, and then she shoots him in
Because
the
that
head?
was his big scene to explain why he did the betrayal and sort of give sort of an emotional moment to the movie that we aren't allowed to have through Broughton's character, because she's only allowed to be a cold, emotionless robot.
Yeah, and that's stupid, because she literally cries at one point. Actually, she shows emotion in several points, so like, that's weird to just try and portray her as only a badass who can't have any other emotions.
Yeah, that's really what they went for. They only gave her a little bit of emotion once or twice, and then it was quickly wiped away.
She has a moment. Yeah, she has a moment with the at the beginning of the movie when the guy Gascoigne's he gets killed, and there's a moment where we're like, oh, I think she had some kind of relationship with this guy, whether it was, you know, a friend or lover or, you know, some familial. We don't know, because we never really get that information, which it doesn't matter. So at least they didn't try and shove that down our throats. Like, but she just has a moment, and then she has another moment where she's crying over the death of the French girl, who's, again, she just doesn't matter. She's just unimportant.
I have a question. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about this in the comment earlier that was apparently Ben Shapiro made. But if if we made this movie and James McAvoy played her role, is it the same movie?
No,
Is
they would play him completely differently.
But I'm just curious,
Yeah.
is it like, what would be the difference?
Well, he probably wouldn't attack somebody with a high heel in the car scene, but
Yeah,
James
the-
McAvoy, you don't know, but
we do know. This
No,
was
I'm just
a
kidding.
this was
Yeah,
a
no.
movie written by white men, directed by white men, probably
Male gaze.
heteronormative.
no, it
Uh,
is.
and it's very much a reinforcement of misogyny, sexism, the patriarchy. The only character allowed here to be the good feminist, good woman is Broughton, but they only do that by stripping her down to be a sexual person who's, slinking through every scene and being stoic. They would not have done that. Like when you look at the James Bond movies, they're suave and charming and doing what they need to do. So they would have made him less grimy and more suave. And it would have completely changed his character, and it would have completely changed how they interacted. They would have gone more of the Bond direction as a result.
Okay.
She couldn't have been in, like, they would have had to completely replace the actor if they would have just swapped the two characters too, because she couldn't have been the character that he was, that grody little monster that was that was playing both sides. And was he, I don't even, like, he was in East Berlin or West Berlin, or was both, like, I don't know where he was. I know he was in East Berlin, but like that would seem to be where he kind of set up his operation.
Yeah, he was
work.
part of the underground on all sides. So,
And
they would never have grimed her up and made her slimy like that.
Right.
That's not what you do with pretty thin white women in a movie.
didn't she do that in Monster?
She did. Yeah, that's one of the things I actually like about her is she does kind of try to be
Oh yeah, she
unconventional.
tries, and that's a
No.
different movie. I'm talking about this movie.
No, I know.
that's
Yeah.
not the same. That's not the same movie at all.
Yeah.
What I meant was more like, did they do anything from like a writing standpoint to make that character female? Like, is it all just directing choices in that case?
No, yeah, the whole point of this movie, and they kind of talk about it as being, it's supposed to be a James Bond, but she's a girl, except that it doesn't translate because James Bond exists as a sexist, misogynistic character. You can't have a woman step into that because she is facing that misogyny and that sexism. Like this entire movie is her being attacked with misogynistic coworkers and being exposed to all of the structures of power that are bad and oppressing for women. That makes it, and she's supposed to be doing this single-handedly as the superwoman who has super fighting skills and super this and super that, and is always, looking pretty in high heels with makeup, performing correctly for the male gaze. And so she is so sort of James Bond shaped, but she's definitely just someone who is being presented as a woman who has it all as a professional, but is of course cold and efficient and is having sort of the same abusive tendencies as James Bond. They've introduced like the James Bond girls that come with all the movies usually come in the form of like the damsel in distress girl who gets killed, or the hero girl, or the femme fatale. And so they made LaSalle the first one, and then they kind of made the two be Broughton. And so they made her more a Bond girl than a Bond.
Yeah.
Next
I
week we
don't-
should do Totally Spies.
Spy Kids.
No,
I don't-
Totally Spies, the series.
I've never seen either.
Oh,
No, I
but
haven't
that's
either.
yeah. I don't think that I'm not being as like harsh from with a feminist lens as you are, because like agreed. I was surprised. Like the first time I saw this movie, like I was, they took a beautiful woman like Charlize Theron and threw her in there. Like the very first scene we see her she is banged up and cut up, and she's got a horrible black eye, and that is like that's the opening scene that we
Mhm.
see her in. And I was like, oh, that's not something that they would normally do when they get a beautiful woman to star in their movie, like the powers that be. But I think like that was like one of the only things, and I don't think that the badass stoic woman thing, like it's not necessarily. I'm sitting here going, I don't think it's necessarily sexist that she's stoic, because she's not. She's a spy, so like they have to be that way, right?
But they made a point of the other two having more emotions. But they then, of course, turned it into LaSalle being a woman of color who has emotions and is weak. And as soon as she tries to assert any of her power or skill set, gets killed by the white man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And
And
that
then
was-
he's got all kinds of emotions
She's-
raging all over the place.
Yeah,
And
he sucks.
he sucks. It's just a really common trope for like the
It is, but also when you
For
think
the-
about it, it's she's also that mask that we put on when we're watching the movie. Like Keanu Reeves is like, he doesn't have a. I hate to pick on Keanu Reeves here, but it's also like when you think about the character in the movie that you'd want to hang out with, it's never supposed to be the main character, right? Or like, well, with this
No.
particular type of movie, it's not. It's like with like Star Wars, it's supposed you want to hang out with Han Solo, right? He's the cool one. And with the Matrix, when I did pick on Keanu Reeves, like with the Matrix, you want to hang out with Morpheus, right? You don't want to hang out with Keanu, even though he's the one. With like, so you get to insert yourself into this very kind of bland character
Mhm.
and be like you're Neo, right? And you're hanging out with, so you're the one. And this is kind of like the same thing that I felt like with her. She's Lorraine is the Neo. Lorraine is the person that we pretend to be because she's badass, but she doesn't have a lot of personality. And which in this analogy, the person we want to hang out with is fucking James McAvoy, and he sucks, right? Like, so,
Yeah, he does.
I mean, it doesn't hold up as great there, but
it
does-
doesn't. But
he's the more flamboyant character of the two of them, like whereas she's meant to be the person that we are trying to place ourselves into in the movie. So like in that way, that's what I'm seeing when I say I don't see her with as harsh of a feminist lens as you are. It's like because that's what I'm seeing in her is a lot of that. Like we're supposed to want to be her. and
oh
hang-
yeah, that
with-
they
it's
made
not-
confidence her personality trait, like hyper competent,
Mhm.
full of confidence, confidence that's always being shown by how sexy she looks, and just like she's supposed
confident,
to.
like very smart and witty and clever. Like everything that she says is just like, oh, that's fucking cool what she just said, right?
Right. She's not allowed to be human or have other things happen. She's always like in place with the right quip, the right thing, more or less, unless they're trying to show her less caring. Like they've made a point that she doesn't really have a caring side, and that and then. But she's, the flawless-ish fight scene. She gets through all of them. She is beat up, but not as much as she should be, considering what was happening. And she's using all these tools to defeat all these men and just flows from thing to thing, always doing exactly right and exactly perfect, because you have to do more, be better than the men in order to be considered equal.
I think my point that I made earlier about like if McAvoy and her switched roles, I think I phrased it wrong. I think what I was trying to get at was if they swap the genders of the characters in the script, would they be the same? And I think that's more of like what you're getting at, right? Is that they wrote her very flat and soulless. That like it, if you were to, that's what I meant more of was like if you put a man in that role, with the words on the page have changed it, I guess what I'm saying. But you're right, like like she is kind of like almost like to the point of like a video game character where she doesn't really have a soul, and like you're the one that's like bringing that to the character that you're playing. Almost,
Right.
she's almost like
The avatar,
a real basic avatar, without much going on, and not a lot of personality. Like I don't know where the where the old save the cat moment was, or where the thing was where I'm supposed to like her or root for her. 'Cause I don't know what she's really trying to do. Like,
Right.
how is she improving? Like,
Well,
she's
and none
not.
of them are like you don't trust any of them throughout the entire movie. like, there's not a single character in there worth trusting.
But I
Even the
don't
guy who
think-
gets
And
shot in the head at the beginning of the movie, it's like, yeah, he clearly said he was a spy. Should we trust him? No.
And
But
that's them trying to tie into the spy part. Like, it is, they are spies. They're supposed to be kind of like, I don't necessarily disagree with the fact that they made them a little sketchy all the way around, because spycraft does require you to not always be fully truthful. It does require you to actually engage with other human beings, though, in like kind of a meaningful way and a true way. And that's what they were sort of trying to show as well. I think her save the cat-ish moment was at the end, when she was finally allowed to have anger like men do, in order to express herself, and saying how, every lie was a bullet in my gun, and now it's one more step towards my freedom. So we're supposed to see that she's fighting to get out from under something and care. But they put it at the end of the movie.
End of the movie.
That
Yeah, that's
part
my
was
issue.
so weird, because like, why the fuck wasn't she fighting for that at the beginning? Like, that would have made us like connect with her a lot more as a character. As if that whole, I don't get to have my life, it's not my own, and I want it back. Like, she doesn't. Like, that would have made it. That
Because
would have
the
made
movie is all about her being there for the male gaze. She doesn't have to have a backstory. She just has to look pretty and do the things. She looks pretty and fights, so that's
the
what they
sexist
care about.
part. That's where
Oh
I
yeah.
the sexism is that yeah, like, she doesn't have a backstory really. She doesn't like we get that little hint of she cared about that guy who just got killed.
Right.
But it's the barest hint. Kind of gazes sadly at a photograph of those two people together, and then she lights it on fire, because that's what you do with the only thing that you have left of your dead friend.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, like, they should have. The I want my life back didn't make sense in there.
Yeah.
But,
So
like,
go ahead.
it should have been in the beginning.
Well, I was gonna say, Sarah hit on it too, right? Like, none of the characters, like even McAvoy is not even like a character that you want to even like spend time with, or like, be around. Like, this movie really reminds me of two things, right? Like, okay, it reminds me a lot of, I thought a lot of A Clockwork Orange in this, especially because the scene where I forget what's her name, LaSalle, you said the character's name, where like that is a real rapey murder. I mean, it's like,
Oh yeah.
it's
So
like,
rapey.
it's it's like it reminded me of the Alex DeLarge one, where at least in that one, like, I would argue Clockwork Orange is trying to make a point and it's trying to be about something, and this is like, just, I think it's the wrong place for something like that. It's like, this is like an R-rated movie for like, young dudes to like, have a six-pack with and enjoy and whatever. And it's like, it's kind of a not the right time to be like, kind of, I mean, he's like really like in there and like intimate and like enjoying it and stuff. And
That was a more intimate scene than the lesbian scene.
much more. That's why when Sarah said that earlier, I was like, woof, because that was way more like, ugh,
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah,
They made a
no,
whole point of drawing the camera back and being third-party voyeur. I'm a young white guy watching two girls get at it kind of view of them starting to initiate sex together. And so it was, but then when they were doing the death scene, it was way more close up and visceral and
that's
intimate.
definitely how you know that the person behind the camera was not a woman.
Yep.
I mean,
Agreed on that for sure. I stand by that. Like, that was a
Oh yeah, no, it
solid
is
sex scene. Like, you just don't get that much. Now we do. We're
getting to see a bisexual sex scene in a movie is sort of a rare event. So it was good. And especially because they didn't make a big deal about it. It wasn't, oh, now you'll be blackmailed because we know you're bi or anything. It was just, that was part of the character. It was, of course, supposed to be on par with an homage to Bond, who uses and discards women. And they made Broughton be very cold and dismissive to LaSalle when she started to bring up emotion and be like, yeah, you should have been a poet because you suck as a spy. And just, very dismissive of her. And because it's supposed to be a one-night stand where there's no emotion engaged, showing that she can be like a man and not have emotions when having sex.
And that, God, if that all of this shit now you put it in my head and I can't, like, all of this shit would have meant so much more if they would have put that "I want my life back" shit at the beginning of the movie.
They
It
didn't even
all
have to explain it
could've
because
been
you don't see
so
until the end that she's a triple agent and that's her life that she's getting back. But
then
just
it would have
seeding
been an
that at the front so that you
reveal.
know what the payout is at the end for real.
That
Yeah,
triple agent shit would have been a bombshell at the end of the movie had we known about her wanting her life back.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that would have been like, holy shit, she was Satchel all along. What the fuck? She's actually a triple agent?
right?
Yeah, that would have been so much cooler if they would have that like if we would have known the entire movie that she felt trapped by this spy shit and she just wanted to not be a spy anymore. Like that all would have been so much cooler.
Oh yeah, it would have helped so much. And even in the middle when they have her meet the CIA handler who we think she's just meeting with a liaison and she gets the paper, reads the ad, calls the number and says Satchel is compromised. That's her knowing that her cover is compromised and blown and so she's trying to like go from there. They just stuck it into the middle of the movie without context. So we have no emotional attachment to this information.
Yeah.
And I think they meant for it to be either if you suspected she was Satchel, it was a problem, or if you didn't, then you thought that she had an opportunity to catch Satchel. And that's what made the next scene of catching McAvoy be more interesting and more tense because
Really?
she's catching Satchel, but oopsie, no, she's not. If
Yeah,
you
they
believe him, but do you believe him? Like they made it so muddied that
Yeah,
you
they
really had a
did do
hard
a good job
time.
of making us suspect her as Satchel. Like, yeah, like we all like, but that's because all of them are spies. They all could have been Satchel. They really try hard to make us go, oh yeah, he's Satchel. James McAvoy
Right?
is definitely Satchel. But if they would have made it a slight, like they would have dropped little hints
Hmm.
along the way, then when she, like right before she kills him, he's like, "Oh, and I found out that you've been a very naughty girl indeed," right? Which gross, but also
Right.
like,
Oh
oh,
God, all
that
the
was just
language.
alluding to the fact that oh, actually she's Satchel, and that was like the only clue that we got through the entire thing. They they were really ramming it down our throats. He's Satchel, not her.
Yeah.
And so, and she like they wanted it to be this big reveal,
Hmm.
but and yeah, it is, but like also it falls flat.
Yeah,
Thing.
absolutely does.
But I mean, not that it's not like it should have been like it's not a cool moment, but like it should have been much cooler. Like it's you're going, oh, okay, so that was just me when like I was like, oh, okay, so she that makes sense too, and that's all I got. Like that was the big. It wasn't a big bombshell. I wasn't like, holy shit, we gotta pause the movie, like
Yeah.
it was something like that, and it could have been, and that's disappointing.
Similarly with the Percival character, they made his whole speech about how he loves Berlin and how it's so weird and fucky here and he loves it and it's amazing. But they gave no concrete reason through that entire speech about why he betrayed his country and like got with the KGB to do things. Like
Uh-huh.
so he was in some ways Satchel. He was a
Yeah,
betrayer that
I
needed to be
think people were
caught.
just
So
largely trying to be too clever with this in general. And
yeah.
then, there's that scene where, like, right after they kill LaSalle, James McAvoy kills LaSalle, and then Lorraine's like, "Oh, you didn't have to kill her," and I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't fucking have to kill her. What was the point of that? It was just to hurt Lorraine." And he clearly, like, it was just for his sick enjoyment.
Oh, it wasn't to hurt Lorraine. It was because Lorraine actually had a moment or not Lorraine, but LaSalle called him and said, basically,
Yeah, she got cocky, so I was like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely gonna die." Like,
yeah, I have chops. I can take you down. And he responded to that with extreme violence, showing that it wasn't just spy game for him, but that he was also a bad person. But
yes.
yeah, it was, yeah.
Unfortunate. Like that scene, like everything about that scene was just super unnecessary.
Everything about how they treated the LaSalle character, where she was
Mhm.
the lesser spy and a weak woman
Plus,
because she
she
had
was new like
feelings
that.
and
I
trust.
can I can get behind her being, admitting that she's scared, although she admitted it to the very wrongest person. It just
Yeah,
happened that LaSalle also had, or that Lorraine also had the hots for her, so she kind of like gave her a pass on that. But like, don't tell another spy that you're that you're afraid,
And
and
they-
that like they give the impression that she's in over her head before anyone states it. Which like obviously she's in over her head if she's scared and she doesn't quite know what to do. Yeah, but
they just set her up to fail from the start when she's saying things like, "Oh, I just became a spy for fun," like implying she's had no training and that she's not,
Right.
prepared in any way, shape, or form or what's going on. But then she was successfully
written
doing
character.
spycraft. And
Yeah.
like she was trailing, she was doing things, she arranged a mage cute, she got the dirt, the critical information
yeah,
that
people did
Lorraine
not
needed.
know. Like he did not know that she had that information because he like that just cements that he killed her because he wanted to kill her because he liked killing her, because he didn't try to find anything in that apartment, like the camera that she had attached to her. The whole
I had the same thought, but Broughton did
Yeah.
just like bust in right then, so he had to leave without it. Because that would have been his next thing, would be find whatever evidence she was talking about. But she did come right in, and so that chased
but
him
of
off.
course, it was just a hair too late to save.
Just a hair too late.
Yeah, just stupid. It's just that whole thing, that whole character sucked. I think that she was in there specifically to have that lesbian sex scene because that was hot, right? And
And to be
And
the
then,
Bond girl.
and
That's-
yeah, and to have that death, because we had to have a really dramatic death, and it just there was just everything about that scene was so unnecessary.
Oh yeah.
It like okay, so we just spent like most of this time ripping on this movie, so like we have to talk about what we like about it too, because otherwise, like there can't be all critic and no affection, right? So what do we like?
Brad, what do you like?
I got to go check on the dog.
Ooh, cat.
Come on, the cast is good, like the actors are good.
Yeah, the actors are doing the best with what
Had
they
they had
got.
a better, had they had a more coherent script, this, I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of want to right now. Like, you guys needed a woman writer to write this movie.
100%. That's why
would
Nocta
be-
Luca is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't put that kind of pressure on me. Jesus Christ.
I,
Yeah,
believe
no, like,
Amanda once said the bar is set in hell on this one. I think with
so you're saying I just don't have to gruesomely and violently kill a woman in this, and then I'm fine.
I think there's a lot more that you can do better than this. I don't think it's
I hope
like,
so. Oh my
but
God.
it's the thing that I think people keep saying over and over again, and or the thing that I keep taking away from what people are saying is it just goes back to, I think this was just like an incredibly lazy, bad screenplay. I think it fell in love with itself. I think it was like, ooh, and then if we triple turn this, they'll really be into like this. And like, I'm sorry, like you didn't hook me with your characters, you didn't hook me with your story, and I just didn't care. You guys are way, like the way you guys are talking about this, you guys cared way more about who Satchel was than I did. I was not into it at all. I was just like, I was out at that point. And I think a lot of the time, I think they really thought the heavy lifting was going to be done by the casting director and the casting, because like they cast John Goodman in that like flat role, and they're like, oh, John Goodman will make him likable, and they cast James McAvoy, and they're like, James McAvoy will make him cool, and I think they all just failed.
Yeah, it should have been a better movie. They had a great cast. Like and again, like with all due respect to present company, that a woman should have wrote this. A woman should have wrote this. It would have been better if a woman would have written this. And I'm not saying
And directed.
Oh, yes. That like if LaSalle had to die, she did not need to die like that. And then a
And
woman
LaSalle didn't need to die.
there was no that was it's
They also didn't need to make her incompetent. Like she could have absolutely been a different woman on the scene
like,
with
they
a
could've-
different personality and lived. It would have been okay.
They could have shown that she was still green without just the heavy hand of she's new, so she sucks at this. Like
Her being
would
new
never have put her out
absolutely
to
served
field.
no purpose. She could have
Yeah.
been the equal femme fatale to her, but just been a different style and approached life differently. And they could have had a very meaningful conversation about being two women dealing with being in spycraft together. And like there's a whole lot of play there, and they didn't do that.
But that would have made
That
would've
would have been
made
a
the
lot
food
more
after
work.
this movie sad.
That would have been a
can't-
lot more work. They wanted
would've.
that, and also that would have undermined what I think they're doing. You know, I saw like a TV show where like some fans were talking about a thing, and they're like, "I want my hero to be fighting the devil because I want them to overcome like the hardest thing, right?" So I guarantee you that in the writing room, they're like, "She can't show any emotion unless we kill the person that she loved and that represented like her why." Like they put everything into that character so they could kill her just so she could roll a tear and be like just that feminine and that human. And that was, like, I get your point. You're right. In a better movie, they absolutely would have done that. But here they were like, we got to kill her to get this blood from a stone because
And I'm
that's where the emotional weight comes from.
honestly surprised they even went with a tear because she was meant to be a one-night stand, showing that, women are carefree with sexual enlightenment. And so that was just supposed to make her human enough to, because, women still have, like, how often does Bond cry when the Bond girl dies?
Like once.
He didn't cry when his wife died. Like
I think
the
he made
that
one of them his password, like after she died.
Ooh, that's some emotion.
Oh, he must have really loved her. Yeah. Well, okay. So, like, is there nothing else you guys like about this movie? Because
Oh yeah, no, I like the
fun.
music. I think that the music
Mhm.
was its own character.
Yes.
They avoided trying to hit the pop culture hits of the era and tried to actually fit some of the music to the
They had
scenes.
some of that David Bowie experimental shit in there, which I loved that they had that. Like David Bowie, there's a whole story about why he did all those experimental albums, and it was basically to give the finger to his recording company, like because they wouldn't give him the freedom and the rights and stuff. Like, so it's just Google it. It's a really fun story because like if you needed another reason to love David Bowie, that's a good one. Not that we do, but yes, I very much agree that the music was great. I thought that the action scenes, the fight scenes were choreographed well enough. They were solid. They weren't like amazing, but they were all right. Like you could follow the fights.
That's really interesting because a lot of people online were raving about them, and I was like, really? And then
I don't
I
think
just
they're
assumed
amazing.
everyone else liked them more than me because they usually do.
I didn't actually. I'm gonna
It
get a
was the best thing in the
little.
movie.
The one on the fight on the stairwell, the big fight on the stairwell. That one like upset me. Like I was like the whole time I was like, oh, but you're gonna fall down the stairs, and that's how you break your fucking neck, okay? And then one of the men he pushes down the stairs, and like nobody broke their neck. Like that was absolutely 100% what would have happened in real life. Somebody would have fallen down those stairs funny and smashed their head and died because of that, not because she kicked them so hard that they died, you know? But like that being said, like I'm making fun of it again, but like I do enjoy watching the fight scenes. And I mean, God, you shouldn't take my opinion on movies at all because I love watching shitty movies. So like me acknowledging that this
do.
movie is shitty and then still saying I love this movie is, like I don't care that it's bad. I still like it.
The more I do this show, the more I realize that like I don't think I have any movies that like would make it through this forum like that I can think of. Like, I really want to do like Citizen Kane one day to see how that gets picked apart here because like what would get through here? What would check all four boxes? I wonder. Like, is there like a movie that we could all agree on that we would all love? I wonder.
Maybe I can call out sick that day.
Yeah, I feel like The Godfather wouldn't even make it, and like
Oh, God,
I'm not even
no.
a huge Godfather fan. Yeah, no, so I like
No,
it.
the Godfather wouldn't even make it past me. Never mind Amanda.
I will say on the liking it front, I know you all didn't, but I did like that the movie had complexity. I agree the execution was, dear God, not great.
Problem.
But it was actually the second time I'd seen the movie. So I knew the spoiler in advance so I could see
Maybe
a few.
that's why I had
Yeah.
that time with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I could see some of the things that they were doing. And it is nice when you don't have it completely spoon-fed to you all the time, where it's just
True.
over and over again stating the thing and it's too obvious. And you're just seeing, constantly seeing a picture of the puppy and being told that we're rescuing the puppy. And that's all about the puppy. Did you know, are you rescuing a puppy? There's a puppy that needs rescuing, and that's what we're doing here. Did you know that? That can be a little old. So to their credit, they didn't do that. but
They did it. They went too far in the opposite direction.
only went too
though.
far in the opposite direction. It is Sarah. If you had cleaned it up, maybe we would have seen that, like, you could have pulled out some of those better moments to highlight it and bring people along for the ride instead of just abandoning people cruelly by the wayside if they didn't remember what a single frame of photo showed at the very start of the movie, like 30 minutes ago.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I'm not gonna stop being mad about that for a while. Like, if they would have just said at the beginning that she didn't want to be a spy anymore. God, if they would have just said that.
Yeah, I
Would've
also
made the whole
really
movie a lot
would
more
have loved it if they had had more actual equality showing up. Like all of her coworkers, the ones who are interrogating her. James Bond comes back from a mission. They don't interrogate him to see if he's competent and that he did a job and if he's like, generally not for also, are you secretly a trade turncoat? But she got all of that. So every single male she interacted with was calling her a bitch or saying, see my balls, or are you a spy, or are you competent? Why should you still be here in our sphere? It was really like they needed to not do that shit.
The interrogation, I thought, was because she was supposed to retrieve that watch and she did not do so, or like they thought she didn't do so. I thought that was the point of the interrogation, which they should have. Like, I think that they would have, if they had acknowledged at any point, like you said, when LaSalle and Lorraine get together, like if they had discussed, acknowledged at any point that, hey, we're a couple of women, or just even Lorraine, somehow saying offhandedly, I'm a woman in a man's world type of thing, where like it sucks that this industry is dominated by men and how much harder I had to work to get to where I am, just something. But 2017, I guess. A year that we definitely should have been able to say something like that.
But at that time and up to the current present day, women aren't supposed to complain about it. We're supposed to be super women who just shrug it off and have quippy comebacks for it all and turn a blind eye or go to HR with a single complaint and are immediately heard and things are taken care of. And so we're spoiled if we are trying to complain about lesser problems.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that reinforcement that they were going for in the movie.
Yes. And that was the wrong way to do that movie.
Oh yeah. Making it so that the individual person is somehow magically able to run the gauntlet doesn't make it better, or that the gauntlet should exist.
Mm-hmm. And you know what else? And this is a minor complaint here. Where were all the shoulder pads?
Right?
Where were the shoulder pads?
The outfits needed to be way more on point for that era.
Maybe it was because it was Berlin. I don't fucking know, but like,
yes and no. Like
shoulder pads.
Yeah, there was definitely
big fluffy perms. Where the hell were they?
There was some big hair.
There was some big hair.
The spiky mohawks and stuff.
But Berlin was having a moment, I believe, at that era, because there was several movements happening where they should have had way better clothes, way better representation. Like, I was very white. That was not supposed to be very white. Berlin was very cosmopolitan. So yeah, they could have done so much more there. They made everything dingy, and they didn't have enough aging neon and such to like. Yeah. Her blonde hair was like the brightest thing we kept seeing.
There was the atomic. That was the atomic part.
I at times forgot that it was like even like a period piece. Like there were times I'm like,
Yeah.
I forgot where we were and in what time period.
Yeah, did you notice that there was a lot of like slouchy striped sweaters being worn as complete outfits, and they're like both LaSalle and Lorraine did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't remember that being a thing in like the actual 80s. To be fair, I wasn't I've never been fashion forward, but
I mean, to be fair, 89 is right cusping on to 90, so that it's a thing you'd have to look up to confirm. It didn't stand out strongly, but it did feel like they could have done better with that.
Atomic bald.
2 extra points. I could have signed extra points.
Well, I I got nothing. Oh, I can be there.
All right, everyone listening, please join us at play.blookit.com. You may be able to, if you're on YouTube, you can click the link in the comments. And when you get to play.blookit.com, enter code 327605 and join us. You will get a chance to win some kind of prize.
Oh,
Sarah,
shit.
what do they win?
I didn't. It's a chibi of Lorraine, obviously, but I fucking forgot to upload it.
Yeah.
I'll post it. I gotta remember to do this anyway, so I'll post it online. I'll post it on the socials this week. So this has been a busy week. I'm not that surprised that I forgot to do that. Oh, stupid.
Y'all might be able to beat Sarah.
You know what? That'd be cool. I don't need to win my own sticker.
By the way, how was the victory pie, the pecan pie?
Oh, it was fine. It's mostly
Aw.
like sweet goo with pecans on top. Is that how a pecan pie is supposed to be? Okay. Then it's
is.
exactly what it was supposed to be, and it was good. I ate about half of it, and so had been not feeling well all last week, and so I ate about half of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop before something bad happens, and I gave the rest to Jeffrey, and he also said it was delicious.
Good.
Excellent.
There you go. You deserve it. Bro.
I was thinking I was like, oh man, if we would have made a bigger deal out of this, then I could have remembered to, we could have done a have pie stream or something. We didn't think this through, you guys. Could have had a victory.
That doesn't sound like us.
If we get to, no, right? We are thorough.
We could do that for the closeout show or
There you
something
go.
like
Yeah,
that.
I was like,
celebratory.
if we get to all the stretch goals or something, yeah,
Celebratory pie. I
Mhm.
like it.
little pie. Hey, what happened to the pie in the face guy? What was his name? Anthony. What happened to
Mhm.
him? Yeah, he was like, we give it to a certain stretch goal, we do a pie in the face, and I don't think we ever actually made it to any of those stretch goals. Oh well.
Yeah, I still keep this pie around.
Just in case. All right. Anybody watching wanna join in? You still got a minute, not a minute, a few more seconds to jump in.
It's one of my quizzes, so you know it's gonna be awesome. There will be
Probably
so
gonna
many
be at least-
profanities.
At least one question that doesn't make any fucking sense, but yet somehow all the answers are correct. Amanda and
Maybe.
Brian like to throw those in there. One that it seems like only one correct answer, but actually all of them are correct, and you don't know which one it is. It's not obvious.
You have to go with your gut and your heart.
I love when there's 3 of them right and you somehow still pick the wrong one. That's the best
Also
feeling.
fun.
That's a big old middle finger.
Oh shit.
All right. Well, if anyone wants to join, you still can. But let's get this started. And if you do join late, don't listen to us. Just pay attention to your phone. It's chemistry after all.
God.
What?
Uh-huh.
What does that mean?
What are humans made of?
Yeah.
Oh, you dickhead.
Yeah. I think there's only one like that.
Okay.
Hmm?
Did you put James McAvoy because you couldn't remember the character's name, or were you trying to trick people?
Since there could have been doubt and there could have been oh, well, if you think about it, da, 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 da. I put his actual name, not his character's name. That's why I said character. So there can be no doubt, even if they're oh, yeah, well,
Oh, so you're trying to fuck with us. I see how you are.
No,
Just trying
I'm
to
making it
make
very
it
clear.
easier.
There is only one right answer. But a trick question. If you want to get stupid about oh yeah, but
If you put first of all-
maybe if from a perspective, I'm no, that's not.
Sure.
James McAvoy was not a character in this.
Oh my god.
I said it in the
Oh
show.
shit!
That's why it felt too
No
long.
way.
It was too long.
I mean,
Just
it was
shy of 10 minutes.
It
That's
was
too much.
that's like
That's
a
why I
fifth
got
of the
bored.
movie, isn't it? Like the whole movie is only 2 hours long.
Oh yeah, I noticed. Man, they really need to tighten
It
some
was
shit
a
up.
very long scene. Ah.
I was
knew
just so
the answer to
surprised.
that and I panicked. Yeah, because I saw that it was a success, like a box office success against its budget, and I
Mhm.
fucking knew the answer and I fucked it up anyway. God damn it!
You gave Amanda the lead.
Ah shit. I knew that one.
Hooray.
I like the idea of Escape from Berlin.
You guys shouldn't let me play. I'm a very sore loser on these things.
Hey, can I mute Sarah?
Listen.
I won't have to. What a stupid
okay.
freaking plot
To be
point.
fair, she thought it was a contact in Berlin.
She's a super spy who just landed in enemy territory, and two dudes show up and are like, "Hey, swearsies, we're your friends." She's like,
And then they implied that she knew all along that they weren't good guys.
I don't know if they really. Oh, dang it.
then why did she fight
Ryan.
for her life?
Fuck,
What?
you dick! Oh, I'm so mad.
Stiletto
at you right now,
heels.
you dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dickhead.
Oh, I was so
Thank you,
proud of
Brian.
that
I needed
one.
those points. Oh, I needed those points, sir. Thank you.
Game sucks. I quit.
My goal is
I don't
accomplished.
play no more.
That wasn't even a tricky one. Yeah, that's stiletto ones. My pride and joy.
Too slow.
Puppy. Puppy. The what?
Yeah. Small detail.
I heard the song was the first thing that I heard. I was like, oh, is that the? And then yes, it is.
What
It
is a
ended in
Merkel?
color. Merkel's employee. He was the guy
Who's
who
Merkel?
was like,
Skarsgård.
Who?
Bill Skarsgård.
Who?
The guy with the hair, and that was like the only one
he was
that,
the ambassador.
that did not try to fuck
He
over
was-
Wayne.
What part of the movie?
He was the one making fake IDs and
Okay.
posting spyglass.
Okay.
Yeah, he helped Spyglass. He also was the one who facilitated the umbrella thing for Lorraine, and he at the end he was also there at when they when she kills all the KGB agents. He was the one helping her with that too.
Yeah.
This says second place. It's still awesome, but it's not first place. Look it.
I'm very proud. This is my first ever second place finish, and I still managed to come in last. So that's special.
Congratulations, Amanda. You get a sticker.
Hooray! Stickers are nice.
Of your new favorite movie.
Put,
Oh yeah, I can rant about that thing for a while. Y'all got the short version.
we're due for like a really like super shitty movie. Like, do we have any of those movies that are so bad they're good? Because like
We got a few
we all
good ones
There
coming
are
up.
a lot.
we all agreed that like Birdemic was so bad that it kind of almost circled back to good again. Didn't make any fucking sense. But like
It was redeeming how they did so much with so little. Other than that,
yes, it had this character.
It is not good.
It's a
I would
bad
rewatch it.
bad movie. But like at the same time, I'm sitting there going, I kind of like this movie because it sucks so fucking much, and it made no fucking sense. Like they even with the shoestring budget that they used, what they say it was like $10,000. They made
Something
this
like
whole
that.
movie,
Right? Yeah. It was a ridiculously
It's a
tiny
couple
amount of
months
money.
rent.
tiny, and so like it's the bad
Yeah.
graphics were fine, but like the script also was garbage. So that was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, that part.
but
Yeah,
oh
we
well. So I was gonna pull up the the campaign here again, but like it didn't move through this whole thing, and through this whole episode of Critical Affection, it did not move, and also I'm a little afraid that my internet's gonna crash out again, so I'm not gonna make it angry, but. We are less than $1,000 away from the $5,000 stretch goal, in which everybody gets 4 more pages of book. So that's exciting.
So everyone should go back and buy and follow.
Mhm.
And if
Here,
you're back
yeah.
with a physical tier, you get a magnet.
Yeah, go have a look. If there's anything about Atomic Blonde that you like, you're probably gonna find something about this story that you like. I don't know any other like. You would have thought that writing a movie about a secret thiefy type person, like I would have a better knowledge of like thiefy spy movies. But,
Well, I think I think if there's one thing that like we learned from this movie, like is that no matter like what genre you're in, like character matters, and making sure that like you care, because like this movie lost us by not giving us anything, and like like you've been kind of like bonking yourself on the head about, like it was so simple. It was like one line of dialogue, one scene, and it would have like recontextualized the whole movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know what to fix, and you're going to do
that
better.
was one of
So
those things
that's
where-
why they should back Noctiluca.
Because it's written by a woman.
Yeah. Let's
Also-
hope.
And
Let's hope-
illustrated by a woman.
And illustrated by a woman, colored by a woman, lettered, like the interior of the book is 100% woman made. Some of the covers have been done by guys, but I think you can figure out which ones they are.
That's
Probably.
true.
I mean, I like them. I like them all. I like them all for what they are and for what they are not.
Mhm.
And yeah.
So
What was-
next week
I was looking
we're
at
doing
something.
Entrapment.
Entrapment.
Yes, next week
Yeah.
we're doing Entrapment, which is another one that's kind of like has some loose elements that do find their way into Noctiluca, but oh my god, this book is not like that story, okay?
Oh, good. Good.
There's the thief.
I've never seen it. Are we in for a week?
Really? Oh, it's
I've never seen it
I
either.
don't want to spoil it for you. Sean Connery, Catherine Zeta-Jones, some other people who I don't remember because I haven't seen this movie in like 20 years.
No.
I'm so excited to rewatch it, because like
Is this the one where she does like the very erotic dance through like the
Yeah.
wires and stuff?
yeah, the laser hall thing,
I don't know if Sean Connery didn't do that when he did Bond. Like, how much better would that have been?
right? And I want we
Could've done
need
it when
like
he was
full
old,
breakdown. We need full breakdown on why, because Brian you said in one of the 2 streams we did last week, you said that scene was impractical, and we can take some time to have a little science minute with Brian so you can explain why it's impractical, because I fully believe you, but I actually don't know why. So we can talk about that next week too. It'll be fun because it's not the worst movie. Like, again, it's not the worst movie we're gonna rate on this show, and that we've already done a worse movie than this one, but it's not a great movie. We're gonna run into a lot of the same problems that we had this week. But like, again, like there's Catherine Zeta-Jones is an art thief, which like Luca's also a thief. Their backgrounds are different. That's about where it ends. Like, and there's this romance plot line, which just I don't like. I thought it was amazing when I was 20, but now it's like
Is it between Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery?
what do you think?
It is, isn't it?
Of course,
The what?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
Interesting.
did you ask?
If it was between her and Connery,
What between?
the romance.
the romance.
No.
Oh, we're gonna
Oh, yeah.
have fun next week. We're gonna have fun.
Oh yeah, we are.
I remember as a kid just being creeped out at the implication that he and Indiana Jones had sex with the same girl. I was like, that was,
Oh yeah. Also, Indiana
that
Jones
was-
is a whole. oh,
Oh no! Okay, now we have to do Indiana
Hey,
Jones.
oh, you want that conversation?
Oh my
Sure.
God.
No. I mean, look, critical affection. Okay, we can do both. But yeah, sure. Let's tear India
Oh
apart.
yeah, no, that's real fucking
He's
easy.
a one
He survived the boulder. Can he survive
No.
Amanda? I don't know.
Not.
Guys, unrelated. Well, sort of related, but like I got another backer. We're out.
Hey-o.
Congrats.
Yeah. We're gonna,
Donkey's excited. Backer party, Parky.
we're gonna fucking ruin.
He said, "Good job, Sarah."
It's gonna be. Thank you, Parker. We're gonna absolutely shred Entrapment. It does have good parts, but again, I haven't watched it in 20 years, and I remember enough about it to be like, yeah, did not age well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the
Um,
80-year-old dating the 30-year-old's not going to be amazing to start with, and then we'll go from there.
Have you ever seen the movie The First Wives Club?
Yes.
Goldie Hawn. Oh man, we need to do First Wives Club because that's a pretty good one for, as far as hashtag girl power. It did really well in its time. I think it could have done better, but like for its time. And also, there's a scene where Goldie Hawn gets just fucking hammered, and the guy from Frasier, the bitchy British guy from Frasier is the bartender.
Didn't really narrow it down for me, but yes.
It's fair. Anyway, she's like super drunk, and she's like bitching about this role that she wanted that she didn't get. And then she goes, Sean Connery is Monique's mother. And then she goes, wait, Sean Connery is Monique's boyfriend. He's 300 years old, but he's still a stud. And she's like slapping him. And I'm like, that fucking scene lives rent free in my head all the time. Just because, like,
There we go.
it's true, because a lot of people considered him a sex symbol well into his, grandpa years.
Yeah.
And it just, as it feels now, like totally that happened. And also Goldie Hawn's delivery was, I fucking love Goldie Hawn.
Tremendous comedic talent on that woman.
Yes. If we wanted to talk about other really bad movies, we could do Overboard sometime, because she's fantastic in that, but
Gosh, she's such a terrible character.
She's a terrible character who becomes a good character, but like everybody's a terrible character in this movie. Fucking Kurt Russell's character literally kidnaps a woman with amnesia. Like,
yeah. No.
It's gotta be
Never
just
even
because she's a bitch in this movie, but like she's a bitch, and she tries to what's the word? She tries to not pay him. She stiff him. I was trying to say she was trying to stiff him he does a job for her, and she wants to not pay him because she nitpicks it. But then
because women are horrible shrews.
Yeah, of course. She's a hot, horrible shrew, though.
Of course.
She falls overboard, gets amnesia, and then he's like, "Oh, I could get her to come and be my housekeeper and work off her debt." And like, that's not how amnesia works, for one. And for two, are you fucking serious? She's like a rich socialite, and you're just gonna kidnap her?
It's a Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah, it is.
Variation, and
she's very, very funny in it too. She's very, very funny, and like that was early in her and Kurt Russell's relationship, so it's still like the chemistry between them was good then too. And I think they did the Santa Claus movie. Was that good? I didn't.
It was okay.
I didn't watch that one. Anyway, like I assume they still have solid chemistry if they act on screen together, but we'll just put that on the list to do someday, because I have things to say about that movie. But next week we're going to talk about Entrapment.
Entrapment.
We had a guest lined up, but he can't come now. We did not know when we were talking about him coming on our show that he actually is in England, and it would be 3:00 in the morning for him. So
oof, yeah.
I was like, I would love for you to come, but if that's too late for you, I understand completely. So maybe some other time, if we do like a Saturday afternoon show or something, we can have our British friends on. Well, except for Aaron, but Aaron doesn't count because he lives here now. That's different. So, because Katie hasn't been on in a while either, because she's got a life, and she's got to go to bed at a decent hour, so she can't come on the show anymore. when she did, oh, bless her heart, she was falling asleep the whole time, but she managed to keep the conversation going with us. So, all right, yeah, next week, go check out Noctiluca. The link's in the comments there, and it's that thing down there too. Also, somewhere in my campaign here is a link to Fisticuffs, so go follow that. And we'll talk about that more too. And anything else? I think we're good, right? That was it. That was it for the last minute. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Come back here next week and listen to us talk shit about Sean Connery, and we'll see you then. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.